Let's talk about starting seeds in soil blocks versus cell trays. Ooh. Today we're going to do a comparison of soil blocking and 72 cell plug trays, the costs and considerations for both of them. Some pros of soil blocking. There's increased airflow on the surface of the soil, speeding up growth. Roots are air pruned, reducing transplant shock and promoting quick establishment to garden soil. 3/4 inch blocks are very space saving. You can fit a lot of plants in a small amount of space. It reduces wasted soil. If seeds don't germinate, the amount of soil and space wasted is very small. Some cons of soil blocking. Soil blocks are very fragile. Seeding and handling them have to be done with a lot of care. And watering. There's a margin for error when it comes to watering. It's easy to overwater or underwater. Some pros of cell trays. They're easier to fill. You just dump the soil in and spread it out. Watering doesn't have to be as gentle. It can be done from above, or you can water from the bottom by pouring into a tray underneath the plug tray. Some cons of cell trays. They're prone to becoming root bound, and there's less airflow to roots. Some other considerations for both. With either, additional gentle nitrogen fertilizer will be required for seedling growth. With either, you can use a humidity dome or saran wrap to retain moisture for germination. And with both of them, when growing larger seedlings, some uppotting will likely be involved. Now let's compare the cost of soil blocking and cell trays. For soil blocking, the startup costs involved are the trays, which are $3 a piece, or about $18 per 8 trays. Then the soil blocker, which is about $37, adding up to a $55 one-time cost. Then you're also going to need the soil medium for making your soil blocks. The soil medium that I use includes cocoa fiber, sifted compost, green sand, and rock phosphate. When you do the math on the ingredients, the cocoa fiber adds up to about $1.41 per batch. The sifted compost is about 50 cents per batch. The green sand is 85 cents per batch. And the rock phosphate is 56 cents per batch. That is a grand total of $3.32 per batch of soil blocking medium. So when you divvy it out, your first batch of soil blocks, including the startup costs, cost you 8 cents per block. The second batch, which doesn't include the startup costs, only costs you half a cent per block or 1 cent per 2 blocks. For 72 cell trays, the startup costs include 10 quality trays that are 72 cell plug trays. I get the high quality ones from Bootstrap Farmer just because they'll last me for years. And those cost $60. Then optional but encouraged is 10-20 trays for water containment. Those cost $70 from Bootstrap Farmer, adding up to a one-time cost of $60 to $130. Now, of course, there are other brands of plug trays and bottom watering trays, but for this comparison, I wanted to show you something really high quality that's going to last you for years. Now, for the potting soil cost, this can really vary. I like Black Gold. It's my favorite that I have easy access to. It's $23 per 2 cubic feet. When you divvy it out, that's 88 cents per tray. That means that your first batch of 72 cell trays, depending on the startup cost that you choose, will cost you between 10 cents per cell and 18 cents per cell. Now, after you've already purchased the trays, the second batch onward is only going to cost you 1 penny per cell. That's $8.80 per 10 trays, which will yield you up to 720 plants. The $3.32 for the soil blocking medium will also yield you about 720 plants. As you can see from my numbers here, that means that soil blocking medium generally costs about half as much as filling 72 cell trays with potting mix. Obviously, you can source these items from different retailers and manipulate your own costs, but I hope that this comparison was helpful as you think about how to start your own seeds. Now, of course, there is a lot of trial and error when it comes to starting seeds and figuring out what works best for you in your situation. So I wish you joy on your seed starting journey, and I'll see you next time.